Hey everyone, welcome to Anchored at Harbor Park. If you've enjoyed our episodes, please give us a like and share it with someone you know. Doing so helps us get higher ratings on iTunes so that we can impact more people's lives. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Now, on with the show.
Welcome to Anchored at Harbor Park CrossFit, a show dedicated to helping you find enrichment for the other 23 hours of your day outside of the gym. Here's your hosts, Jason, Dave, and Corian.
Hello everyone, welcome to Anchored, episode 63. And today we're going to be discussing mindset and gratitude. I am your host, Coach Dave.
Coach Corian.
And today, Jason is actually MIA today. Unfortunately, he is attending a family funeral, so our thoughts are with him. So he wishes he could be here with you all, but we had to give him the day off. So it'll just be Coach Corian and myself today. And again, like I said, we're talking mindset and gratitude. But before we get there, we have an icebreaker. And I actually thought about this icebreaker today because it kind of goes with our topic. Corian, I said, I'm going to ask you, what one thing are you grateful for today?
The one thing that I am grateful for today is that I am going to my Toastmasters meeting tonight, and I have a friend joining me, and it's going to be a fun meeting because it's going to be her first one, but we're also saying goodbye to a long-standing Toastmaster, and even though I've only been doing it for about a year, I'm pretty excited to kind of be a part of it. It's just another community, another support system that I really enjoy having, and I'm grateful for them.
Very nice. So can you just explain what Toastmasters is? Because I know you talk about it a lot, and a lot of people don't know what that is.
That's a totally different tangent, getting away from you doing your gratitude. But Toastmasters is a place where you help learn and structure like public speaking. It helps with leadership skills and developing different facets of your life to help improve your work or social situations, anything that you're looking forward to.
Nice. And I am grateful for just being where I'm at today. Everything that I've worked for and tried to accomplish, I think I've set out to do, and I'm thankful that I get to be my own boss.
Absolutely.
All right, so this one kind of came on spur of the moment because, to be honest, I'm going to call a couple people out. I'm not going to call you out by name, but seeing a lot of negative posts this morning on Facebook. So I figured that it would be a good time to kind of reconvene and discuss this mindset and being grateful for what you actually do have as opposed to dwelling on the negative. So I know that right now we haven't had the greatest, spring or the greatest summer. We're waiting for those 80-degree days and warmer. I think we've only hit 80-degree once so far, and it's June 17th.
Yeah.
So we've hit 80 degrees once, and I think we barely hit it. And I agree. Yes, we need summer. We need sunshine. But I think it's also, we can dwell on it because we can't change it. So why sit there and be angry and upset about that?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just realizing what you can change and what you can't change. And when we sit here and complain about the weather and the sun or the temperatures, it's not something we have control over. We can control how we react to it, whether we bundle up, whether we're outside activities, indoor activities, or anything like that. But I can't control whether it's going to be sunny or not. And I am by far a sun child. Like it is everything that I need. I love sitting outside. Dave knows that, generally come spring, I live out on our porch as much as possible. And it just hasn't happened a lot. And I get the winter blues and I get the seasonal depression as well. So it is very hard for me. But I don't want to let it get to me. So I'm going to make the choices that I can that are going to make me feel better.
Yeah, and if you let that get to you, just think of all the things, if you dwell on something negative, we're just thinking about that the whole time, and we're getting all pissed off, and it's now dictating my day or my week, and then everything else now, that whole day is gone. You can't get the time back, so what is the point of it, And I think a lot of times we have to look at it and say, okay, yeah, it sucks, but what is the one thing that you can change, right? Mm-hmm. If you can change it at all, well, you could move out of the state if you really are that disappointed with it.
Yeah.
Because it's your choice to live here. But maybe that's not an option because you have a job. So then, okay, we'll make the best of it. Today's not the greatest of days. It's cloudy. Mm-hmm. There's a little bit of overcast. The sun's kind of peeking through. But like I said, I work all day in the gym. So if it's kind of warm out and I get to open the doors and it's maybe not sunny, it's not perfect out, well, at least I get to open the doors. And I get to smell the fresh air. So, that's...
I think the biggest issue when it comes to people complaining about certain things is they feel like there's no alternative, and then they don't feel like they have control. But like you said, you could absolutely move. You could move to another state. You could take time off. You can sit at home. I'm not saying that these are like actual things that are going to make you feel 100% better and don't have their own choices and consequences to them. But in reality, we all have a fucking choice. And you guys are choosing to live here. I have my whole life, even though I've wanted to move, but this is where I live. And so this is where I built my home. This is where I built my businesses. This is where I built my connections. And so with that comes maybe not so great springs and terrible winters.
But again, we've already discussed this. We can't change it. So we can focus on...
I could, but the other option is moving somewhere else, and then you got to list the pros and cons of all that. So again, we all have choices in life. It's just most of us don't like what we have to choose from, so then we think that we don't have choices. But in reality, we do.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of funny because I made a comment that was, well, you're going to complain about it being too cold. It's not hot. But then the other option is it can be super hot right now. We're 90s, and I'm going to be seeing, oh, it's too hot.
Yep.
And then, honestly, the people who are complaining for the hot weather, and unlike you or me, we don't use air conditioning. We usually just keep it open.
We discuss this regularly over the AC.
So it's so funny. The people, once it hits 80, they have the air conditioning on.
It was 67, and we were sitting on our patio with the doors open, and our upstairs neighbor turned their AC. We heard it kick on. I was like, really? But again, like, that was a choice. And I think sometimes we get in these habit loops of just, we don't know how to communicate without it being a negative statement. So just learning to rephrase things is a different way. Ben Bergeron says it all the time. You're drawing attention to it, and that's complaining. And I agree. And I don't want to be around people who are just going to complain all the time. Now, that's not to say that I don't have a bad day. It's not to say that I don't get crabby. I was just crabby today. I know that the weather is getting to me too. But I snapped out of it in 5 minutes because I'm like, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not being that person today.
Yeah, it's okay. We're not saying that you have to be sunshine and rainbows personally and feelings all the time. But, like, give yourself a quick, like, okay. But then you have to learn to be able to switch it off and change that mindset, okay? Because you can't let it dictate your whole entire day, your week, your hours. You can't get that time back. So focusing on things like you said, when we make those negative connotations, and we try to talk about it in class, the word can't, when we're trying to make a lift. I can't do that. We don't say can't. Like, you just can't do it right at this moment, so come up with a different word, because can't means you're putting it like it's like an end all. So it's, we can look at it as, oh, that workout's going to hurt. Well, now you just put that negative thought into your mind. So now, yes, it is going to hurt. Or you can sit there and say, this is going to be fun, and I get to choose to work out today, as opposed to, oh, this is going to suck, or, have that negative mindset right away. It's going to dictate how you feel in that workout, and you don't realize how much it does affect you.
I think, too, understanding how we speak and learning to pay attention to how we phrase things and what we choose to say. So when I'm trying to talk to someone and I'm trying to get them in a positive mindset, and I say something and they come back with, yeah, but. So you're already writing it off. You're already making an excuse, and you're coming up with complaints. How about just, if you don't have anything nice to say, just sit and think about it. Don't come back right away with a yeah, but. Yes, I completely, like I said, understand that this dreary weather, this cold weather is very depressing. I get seasonal depression too. Okay? But I choose to decide how I'm going to let it affect me. And I'm going to do my best option, whether that's, trying to open windows, whether that's getting up and moving, whether that's watching a good movie, whether that's counting my blessings, saying my gratitude. Like I said, I got frustrated today too. We're doing the CrossFit Total today, and I feel like every time we do this, I'm coming off of an injury or a comp, and I'm never, quote unquote, PRing. But instantly, I had to take a step back and remember that 6 months ago, I couldn't work out. And I was 5 pounds off almost all of my PRs, my lifetime PRs. So were they PRs? Nope. Do I get to work out today? No pain, no injury. And I got to be in class, which I rarely get to do. I'm very grateful.
Yeah, and I think you did say it. You hit the nail on the head when you said you get to choose how you let it affect you. So that's like the biggest thing is like kind of what we're getting at here is, yeah, the weather's terrible, but if we let it get there, like the only thing you have control over is your feelings, is how you let it. That's, you can't control the weather. We've already said that. You can't make the sun come out. You can't change the weather. And if you do know how to do that, please let us know. If you learn how to do that, hit me up. Anyways, you can't control it. The only thing you can control is your mindset and the way you choose to elect it to hit you. And that's about getting...
Sorry, I'm trying to point out today. Shifting your
yes.
perspective.
Yeah, so shifting your perspective. And that's about like, hey, I get to wake up today, or, at least I got to wake up today because you know what? Jason's at a funeral today and I hate to bring this back up, but unfortunately, the person he's visiting with didn't have that choice. Yeah. Do we want to go through life being negative or living not in the moment and loving what we do, and then your life has passed you by?
And guys, I got this today too. Someone was like, well, I guess I'm not as strong as you. It's not about being strong. I've just been working at my mindset for a lot longer. And this is something that is a exercise, and it needs to be strengthened. I'm not always great at it. I don't have great days. Dave saw me this weekend at the competition. This is probably the first time that during the entire competition, I had a fun, positive mindset. I always let competitions get to me. And I didn't this time, but this has taken me 4 or 5 years to get to this point. It's taken me 4 or 5 years to realize that when my lifts didn't go well today, that I let it go and I moved on and I didn't dwell on it. So guys, this isn't easy. It doesn't happen overnight. Just like our nutrition, just like our strength and our programming and our health and wellness and fitness. It is something that occurs over time. I have taken all of the necessary steps to get myself in a position where I'm able to shift my perspective pretty quickly.
Yeah, and like you said, this isn't something like, okay, fine, I'm going to work on it. Yeah, it's going to be hard. Those negative thoughts are going to creep back in. But it's like you said, it's like working out. The mind is a muscle, so you have to strengthen it over time. This is something that you and I have done now for the past 4 to 5 years, where we've been working on our mindset and working at this stuff and shifting it. And it's taken us this long, and now we can start to see it with others, and we're trying to share what we know because, to be honest, I was in a job for 10 years. I was miserable, and I hated life, and I hated everything about it. I dwelled going to work, and then I basically was like, well, I can sit here and go for another 20 years and retire, be miserable every second of every single day for 20 years, and then retire, and then what? Do I want to live 20 years and just hope that, okay, I'm going to retire someday and then I'll be happy? Or do I want to change what's going on? So I took the opportunity to make the change, and that's how I was able to get out of that. And then I worked tirelessly at my mindset, and I'm still working at my mindset. There are days like I get down on it, or there's certain things that, about the business or about personally or nutrition, there's plenty of things, but again, we can't dictate that. We can't let it dictate that.
Yeah, we're so lucky that we have each other. Usually most often than not, one of us may or may not be in a not so positive mindset, and the other one can help pull the other one out of it. But we do get crabby. We do dump on each other when we are in bad moods. Same with being around our coaches and our members, but we've gotten better, and it's something, that we've worked on tirelessly. And I think that learning all of my triggers, learning the things that help me feel better, making sure to keep a list of the things that make me feel better. Those are all ways that we can pull ourselves out of that negative mindset. But whatever you choose to focus on, that's what you're going to gravitate to. If I ask you to walk in a room and look for everything blue, that's what you're going to look for. If I ask you to think of all the positive stuff that's going in your life, try and figure out what you gravitate towards. It's not